Hello everyone, this is Prithvi Prabhu, your 16CS309. I'm here to explain few codes in JavaScript. JavaScript is used to change the interface as we want it, and we can create functions in that so that we can do some alterations, so that we can do some functions or work in the interface. This is my first JavaScript. All these JavaScript I've created some fields in which the display has to show. So in this I've created a 500 pixel field set. This is to display a digital clock, and I've created two functions: function start time and function check time. Check time checks the time and returns the time. And whenever the page gets loaded, it calls the function start time and init. Init means it gets first initialized first time, and once it gets initialized, it will call it again and again. And this is the place where I'm going to display the time. So in this function start time, I'm getting the today's date from the system as today variable, and using that variable I can get the hours, minutes and seconds like this. It gets the time from the system and it displays it here. This thing gets the ID where we want to display the time, and it displays hours, minutes and seconds in this ID. And for every second we want to update the time, or else it will get stopped at a second. So I'm creating an interval here, set timeout. Every 1 second, this is 1000 milliseconds, that is 1 second, that start time will be called again and again, so the time will be running. You can see the output. For every second it changes, so that is why we call the interval. This is to change the background color, and in this I've created a function. This thing automatically runs. So in this I'm getting three variables, that is a random number from 0 to 255 using math.floor function, and it gets some number, and that number will be added here, and that thing can be displayed using this background color. We have to give some number, and that number we are getting it from here, this color variable, and it gets pasted in that f2 division. And I want to change the color again, so I'm giving set interval. It runs every 750 millisecond, so it will change color every 750 milliseconds. So this is how that code works. This is to this is for a event handler. This is when I am keeping a text, and when the mouse goes close to it, it gets zoomed out, and I move the cursor out, it gets zoomed out, and when I move the cursor, it gets zoomed in. So how it works here is I'm giving when two events, that is on mouse over, I'm calling increase size function, and when mouse is out, I'm calling decrease size function. So normally I'm giving the size as 20 pixels. So in the increase size, it gets the uh, text from the ID mouse, and it keeps the font size as 50 pixels. So when we move the cursor, automatically the font size changes to 50 pixels, and when I move the cursor out, it calls decreases function, where I'm bringing it back to the 20 pixels. So let's see how this works. It is in 20 pixels. So when I move the cursor, it gets zoomed in, and when I move the cursor out, it will get zoomed out. See, you can see the change here. This is how it works. It changes the font size. And this is car event. This is a small animation. I'm getting an image here and I want to move the portion of the image. So I'm creating two buttons, start and stop. When I click it, this functions move right and stop will be called. First, when I load the web page, I want to keep it in a specific position, that image. So I'm calling this init function, which I'm created here. This gets the image and it keeps the image in the 0 pixels in the left position. And once I click on the start button, it calls move right. It gets the position at the present time 0 pixels, and increases it by 1. So every time this function is called, 1 pixel it will move to the right, and like that, for every 10 milliseconds the function will be called again and again. So it will be looking like an animation. uh, when I click in the stop button, it should stop the action. So I've cleared the timeout, and I've kept the image in the 0 pixels, that is in the left position. So let's see how this one works. See, this is the image. This is the init function. First, when the main web page is loaded, this is move right. For every 10 milliseconds, it's moving. And if I get stop, it moves to the 0 pixel position. So this is how this JavaScript works. Thank you.